everybody. Merry Christmas. This is Eliza-Neals, and you're listening to the excellent, awesome DJ, Danny Coleman. Merry Christmas.
Here we are again.
Welcome to December.
That's right, December 1st.
Oof, 2024.
And we are bringing you yet another in the series of library shows.
Chapter 13?
Well, what it is, how many we have done from here, but we have done those. And the thing that I find rather interesting is that whenever we piece a show together like this, a Franken show, we always have some really cool things.
Yeah.
Like next Sunday is the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation Christmas party. So tonight we have Eliza-Neals, and we have the winners of the North Jersey Blues Society's IBC, the International Blues Challenge, who will be going to Memphis at the end of January.
Nice.
We have the Bluespeople. I had all four of them on the phone. I had Ron, Kelton, Mike, and Gene. And some serious comedy here.
Oh, no.
And it's funny, it takes us back to the whole, how music makes the world smaller, because Kelton was in Kool and the Gang for years with our friend Michael Ray. Right. We all kind of had mutual connections. So that's really cool. And then we actually have a phone call coming in from a woman named Rebecca Lauren, an actress who's making a horror film for the holidays.
Oh, wow.
About Grandma's house.
Oh,
She'll
got run over by a reindeer.
She is scheduled to call in a bit. So, but Rock On Radio is sponsored by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill, the official caterers of Rock On Radio, located in East Hampton, Mount Holly, New Jersey, and they will be catering the Christmas party, which takes place very soon at Asbury Park Vibes.
We're both wearing our Asbury Park Vibes wear. You stepped out of the car, and I was like, oh, I wore this to work.
I think that would make Doug and Diane very happy, as they are one of our sponsors. And Diane has graciously opened up her doors to us once again for the recording of the Rock On Radio 16th Annual Christmas Spectacular, which takes place on December 14th at Asbury Park Vibes, which is located on Main Street in Asbury Park. If you are looking to for some photography for a business or a band or a website bio, press release, anything of that nature, contact Diane and Doug at Asbury Park Vibes. Now, that Christmas Spectacular will air on December 22nd and December 29th.
I was just checking that.
So that will be the dates. Part 1 on the 22nd, Part 2 on the 29th.
And we are off. Woohoo!
And then, we will, our last in-studio show will be on December 11th.
Do we know with who?
No, December 11th. We do, actually.
Oh, good.
I have to, it might be on the website. I don't know. But December 11th, and that will air on the 15th. And we will record the Christmas show on the 16th. And if you are listening to this and you are in that vicinity,
on the
14th, between 12 and 5, you can stop on in Asbury Park Vibes on Main Street in Asbury Park, and we will gladly
feed you,
say hello, feed you, give you,
and force you on air.
That's right, and force you to talk to me That's how I make friends. I force them to talk to me. I ply them with eggnog and chili.
Ooh, eggnog. The only eggnog I'll eat. Drink. Kind of.
They kind of eat. It's thick enough. But we are also sponsored by the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. If you go to jbf.org, and December 8th is their holiday party. So next Sunday, which is why we will be hearing from Eliza-Neals shortly, because she's the headliner.
Right, and it's nighttime. So I think it's 6.
It's at McCloon Supper Club
5:30?
on Sunday, December 8th, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
And yeah, tickets can be purchased through their site or McCloon Supper Club.
Nice.
Either one of those. We're also sponsored by NewJerseyStage.com. Gary is very gracious to allow me to publish a column there every Thursday, as I've done since 2013, as well as allow us to air this radio program on thepenguinrocks.com, which is part of NewJerseyStage.com. And normally we are in the 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment.
That's right.
But tonight we are not. We are in the Librical area of Clare Estates.
Clare Estates.
Not the one in Bordentown, but the
nunnery.
you know I have a very, very special place in my heart for the poor Clares.
Yes. Yeah.
They were my girls, those ladies. I loved those nuns like you would not. They were so good to me. Mm-hmm. And my family, my growing family. Mm-hmm. And they were just fantastic people and funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, all they did was make holy bread and pray and
make anybody laugh.
Oh gosh, they were so funny and active.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'd take their little elevator up from the stairs, literally one of them would jump in the back of my UPS truck and they'd be like, oh, let's go. And they'd start throwing boxes of holy bread at me. I'm like, aren't you going to damage that or something? Is it going to have to be re-blessed? What are you doing?
It's not blessed before they get it.
So, but they were great. So, I have no idea where I'm going with this now.
Clare Estates is what you
Clare Estates, that's right. But yeah, 2-Tracks Studios of Deco Entertainment, where you can also hear this show, DecoEntertainment.com.
DEKO.
Correct. Old Heights Brewing, the official beer provider of Rock On Radio.
Nice.
Now, I stopped in there. I went to the man cave.
Okay.
Because Randy put a post on Facebook. Randy Now of Randy Now's Man Cave put a post on Facebook, and it said, free 1915 Victrola.
Wow. Right up your alley.
Now, as you know, I have a
that.
1910
this is
Victor
older.
Victrola.
Nice.
No, this is younger by 5 years. I have a 1910. This one's a 1915.
Yes, I'm saying, yeah.
So he gave it to me for nothing.
Nice.
So while I was there, I stopped in Old Heights Brewing, and we've begun the preliminary discussions for a Rock On Radio beer.
Oh, wow.
So we shall see where that goes. Mm-hmm. Stay tuned. Phoenix Art Supplies and Framing, located on Route 611, otherwise known as Southeastern Road, in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. The fantastic art supply and framing shop owned by Jenny Schaefer, who has a special. If you spend $200, you get $40 off with a coupon for 40 years in business. Mm-hmm. Phoenix Art Supplies and Framing of Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Sinister Footwear. Go to sinisterfw.com and check out some of the crazy wild socks that Tina has on her site. Mm-hmm. And if you purchase any, use the promo code DCRSOCKS and you'll get 10% off your order.
Yay.
I haven't talked to her about the happy hour. December 5th is the Rock On Radio year-end happy hour, which features the music by Radio Fiction.
Oh, fun.
And so far, as a matter of fact, out front of your house, I just made an exchange with our good friend and comedian Chris Covert, who provided me with a whole slew of new T-shirts to give away, some drink koozies.
Nice.
He also gave me a beanie with the Rock On Radio logo on it. Yeah, nice. And a tote bag with the Rock On Radio logo
he's testing
on
a
it.
few things out. That's good.
And he gave me some unmentionables.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to mention them.
Don't mention them.
But he gave me one of those. And so he's at the Broken Goblet actually this evening.
Oh, fun!
And in a comedy show with our friend Steve Trevelise and a couple of other comedians. So that'll be kind of cool. But yeah, so that'll be this Thursday. But the Knot's giving me $50 gift certificates to give away.
Wow!
As well. And I'll have the usual Rock On Radio tchotchkes and things to stick in everybody's bag.
I might have to show up.
SDM Creations will be providing some treats, baked goods, as will Lillipies of Princeton, located at 301 North Harrison Street, inside the Princeton Shopping Center. Jen will be giving us some desserts to give away at the happy hour, as well as at the Christmas party on December 14th. Okay. Correct. Dee Dee's Lights. I think I will have some of Dee Dee's. I think I have some candles I can stick into some of the prizes for the Rock On Radio happy hour. Dee Dee's Lights is the official chandler of Rock On Radio. She makes all of our candles. This one is the, what the heck is it? Sandalwood scent? Is that what that is? Yep. She does not have a website, but you can find her on social media. And Dee Dee just had a big birthday.
I know.
The other day. And, good for her. She looks great.
Yeah.
So that's Dee Dee's Lights. And I'm drawing a blank now. Claire, who? Oh, Sandy Hall Music. SandyHallMusic.com. Recently signed to Deco Entertainment, as is Steve Shive, who was our former guest. And SandyHallMusic.com, you can find both of her albums, her most recent being Full Circle, distributed through DecoEntertainment.com or by going to SandyHallMusic.com.
Right.
And I think that's it. Right?
That's it,
No, I might be forgetting somebody.
No.
I don't know. Good. We don't have my. I thought I got them all last week too. When you left me unsupervised.
I did. You did good though.
Which Redbird got a kick out of.
Oh really?
She's like, "Oh, Claire couldn't make it." I said, "Nope, she left me unsupervised."
I was busy.
Yeah, well, apparently so.
I got things to do.
Right. Well, if they want to find us, Claire, what can they do?
They go to DCROR.com, which is the short link for Danny Coleman's RockOnRadio.com.
There you go. Facebook, Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio, the number 2, and Twitter and Instagram at Rock On Radio, all one word, all capital letters. Although my Twitter account's kind of disabled because with the recent rash of computer issues I've had, I can't I can't log in.
Oh, I see.
Which was the case with Facebook and everything else too. So we shall see. But that being said. So we spoke earlier about tonight's guests. We have Eliza-Neals, we have the Bluespeople, and we have Rebecca Lauren is scheduled to call in to talk about her Christmas horror film, which I read that press release and I was like, are you kidding me? But we'll see what she has to say.
So this is like a bluesy Christmas show. So like it's a blue Christmas.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. But I spoke to Eliza. Her and Jay were on the road heading to Michigan. She just finished up her southern tour. They had finished up the night before in Biloxi, Mississippi. Nice. And they were heading up to Detroit to spend Thanksgiving with her family. And they're heading back east because she will be the headliner at the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation holiday party on December 8th at McClune's. So we had to talk about that. Now, of course, we had to talk about a few other things. So we actually played a couple of her new tunes.
Nice.
We played Color Crimes off the title off her recent release, and Something's Better Than Nothing. Both of which she tried to get through the Grammys, and she made it through the first round.
Oh.
But not the second.
Oh, right.
So, but that's okay. And we talk a little bit about that and the effect that her and Jay have had on a lot of people in the industry by doing everything themselves.
Gotcha.
And she asked me if Swirsky was coming to the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation party. I said, no, but he's coming to my Christmas party, so...
Show up.
Yeah, that's right. You want to talk to Swirsky. So, well, here it is now. Here is my interview with the great Eliza-Neals. And then we'll be back, and we have the Bluespeople. Hello, Eliza-Neals. Welcome to Rock On Radio. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Danny. Good to be back with you. Everything's good. We're just driving back from Florida. So we've been sitting in the car now 8 hours, and we're searching for a restaurant to go to. But in the meantime, we're going to have a really good talk. I've missed you. It's been too long.
You are 100% correct. I haven't seen you face to face since the Sellersville Theater at the end of last year. And
all right.
And it has been quite a while, and you've done some really neat stuff, and you have a neat event that you're going to be headlining on December 8th, which is why we're talking. But did you open for Buddy Guy last week? What was the deal there?
I'm opening for Buddy Guy on January 11th at his residency in Chicago.
Nice.
So I'm one of the people they reached out to. So it was quite an honor. You know, I've been playing that place, sold it out about 5 times already over 5 years. So to be chosen to open up was like, what? I was so, really, it's just such an honor because there's so many people who are doing this, and so he's got Kingstone. He's going to be doing the first, I think the first night got Bobby Rush. I'm doing it, and there's Cashbox Kings. I mean, it's quite an array of blues and blues rock artists. I'm just so excited about it.
Oh wow, all those guys. I love Bobby Rush. That gentleman he just cracks me up every time I talk to him.
Oh yeah, he's so funny. Yes.
And
I'm excited.
Joe Nosek from the Cashbox Kings, another great guy. That's fantastic. So what were you doing down in Florida?
I had a little short run there. We did a couple dates, and the last gig we did was Biloxi, Ground Zero, in Mississippi. I headlined that one. We did a full packed crowd. My first time there, and I'm super excited about that. Morgan Freeman owns the club, and Mr. Hobbs is the guy that booked us. And it was an extremely fun, my first time in Mississippi and playing the Ground Zero Blues Club. So it went really great. We did that. And now we're heading back. I'm going back to Michigan to see my family for Thanksgiving. And then we're heading back to do the December 8th at Tim McClune's big Christmas party, Jersey Jazz and Blues holiday party. Like you said, last year it was
Nick Moss.
Nick Moss, right, and Dennis Greenling. And so this year it's Eliza-Neals and her badass band.
That is 100% correct. You guys are going to be doing the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation Christmas party on December 8th at Tim McClune's Supper Club, which is located on Ocean Avenue. I believe it's 5th Street.
Yep, right on the ocean there.
Yeah, right. Well, it's right next to the Paramount Theater on the boardwalk. So it's a great venue. That Christmas party is always a hit. They always get fantastic blues acts, and you headlining it. I think you're on. There may have one solo artist as an opener. They've done that in the past, but with you headlining, don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. But with you headlining, they don't need anybody else. Eliza-Neals.
Well, thank you, Danny. I thank you so much. You're so nice to me, and I appreciate all the flattery. It will get you everywhere. No, I'm just kidding. I got some great musicians. I got Frankie Boy. No, Rick. Okay, I have so many different musicians. I got Rick Nosa on guitar. Peter O'Brien on drums. I got Chris Vega on bass, and a guy named Brian on B3. And then, of course, I'll be on piano as well. And we're going to be doing a lot of the originals and also some holiday music and some fun blues to dance to. And it's going to be a really fun night. So you're coming, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Yep.
All right. So we're going to have a great time and just do our thing and have a great time. I got, some other fun stuff coming up. Like I said, the January 11th, we're going to hit Buddy Guy's. And then, of course, I go up to play Don O'Dell's Legends on January 16th, and then Jimmy's Jazz and Blues January 17th. And then I'm getting a lot of festivals. I just got Springing with the Blues in Jacksonville in April 5th. And, things are coming in. It's all going good. And April 30th at the Town Crier.
Oh, in New York.
March 30th. I'm sorry.
Up in New York State, right? That's
New York State. Yeah.
You gonna get a little visit from Joe Louis Walker maybe up there?
I hope so. Oh, and March 29th at the Iridium in New York City. I get to go back there. We had a full room last time, so we're going back, and that's such an amazing room to play. It's just a thrill in New York City. They put your marquee up in the middle of Times Square, and it's like, you know what? Can't get much better than that. You know what I mean? It's just, who knew? You know what I'm saying, Danny?
Well, when I hear this from you and how fast your schedule's filled up and all the things that you've been able to accomplish, and as you and Jay are mostly DIY artists, and the inroads that you've made between the venues and the festivals and the airplay on Sirius XM and all of that stuff, I'm almost at times, Eliza, at a loss for words, really, because
wow, thanks.
It makes me happy to see people that I associate with and have had on my program. It makes me happy to see them succeed. It really does. And
that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Well, it's a labor of love, and like I said, we just keep putting out the music that I want to do and that I want to write and produce. And I think I've been instrumental, which is a good thing, on getting other people to be independent. From what I hear, I've been, producing and writing my own stuff on my own label since I broke into the blues in 2015. Now, people are starting to notice what I've been doing, and I won 2 Independent Blues Awards, finally, for Candy Store, Best Blues Rock Song, and Road Warrior. So that's the first time I won that. That's pretty hard to do. Now it's all record label, inundated with record labels, so they got all their artists. So to win 2 of those was really great this year. And now other people I hear are starting to produce themselves and put their own things out. And I have to think that since I've been doing it so long, they take a note. You know what I'm saying? Because we do collect the check.
Yeah. Well, and it's great that you've done it on your own. It's one of the discussions I often have with our friend Mark Swirsky is the role of a producer in a record company. And I often say to him, these record companies will go out and they will sign an artist because they like them. They like their talent. And the first thing they do when they get in studio is try and change them. And
they do. It's happened to me many times. Go on. I'm sorry. I'll get to that.
No, and you're right. And a producer, I said to Mark, I was like, you're a producer. And he stopped me, always stops me cold in my tracks. He says, I'm not trying to change the artist. I don't want to change their style. All I want to do is put them in the right spot to succeed. He said, if that means bringing in an extra player or a different guitarist or maybe change a line here or there or maybe a cover song that might get them more recognition, he goes, I'll suggest all of that. But ultimately,
that's good.
He's like, ultimately, the artist is in control.
No, I was just going to say, that's great. But that's that's they can work together with someone like that. But there are those that don't want to do anything that you're right. And like when I was taught by the great Barrett Strong, who produced and wrote for Motown, Marvin Gaye, and the Temptations. And when I played him my songs, he would always say to me, well, since you're the songwriter, that makes you automatically the producer. I go, what do you mean, Barrett? Because, well, I write the songs, and then I produced them on, the Temptations and Marvin Gaye, him and Norman Whitfield. So I said, well, he goes, you know where everything goes. You wrote the song, so you know what you want to hear. And he goes, you have to learn how to do that, but by playing piano for myself and learning from someone like him, I think my producing talent has come from watching such a great person produce. So I just kind of put it into what I do. And I play drums also. It's a percussion instrument. So I just kind of figured out what to do. And I, did my first album that came out, Breaking and Entering, in 2015, gave it right to Bluesville, and it went right on the radio. So I bypassed the producer I was going to hire, but it was a $20,000 price tag. And I said, well, you know what? Let me just go out in faith and do what I know. And it worked. And I'd have to pay anybody. I just paid myself.
That's the best person to pay.
Yeah. So whatever comes in for, your royalties, if you're the record company and the producer and the songwriter, you get to keep 100%.
Right. Nice.
So that's what I do.
Yeah, and it's working for you. And
well, as long as I can keep coming up with stuff, yeah. Now, if I could collaborate with someone else and we could do like a collaborative thing, where it's a 50-50 split, I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I can't come up with $20,000. You know what I
I
mean?
understand that too, and that's unfortunately there's a hefty price tag. There's an artist I know who is fantastic. Her live performances are the stuff legend is made out of. But when she decided to cut her first album, she went into a studio. It cost her about that, and the product that came out to me was nothing like what she sounds like live. And I was, not that it's a great album, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't, and I played drums for her for years, so it was kind of like, I know these songs, and that's not what they should sound like. Or maybe it's just because I was used to them sounding a different way. But,
yeah.
Either way, she had a signature sound, and it wasn't there in that disc.
Who produced it? Did she do it? Or?
No, it was produced by a very well-known guy, and he was a sound engineer for some very large national acts in our area. So I found it shocking. But then Swirsky produced her second CD, and it's totally different. It sounds totally different.
There you go. So he knows what he's doing.
Right. So yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to him. That's great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like the heartbeat from the songwriter has some magic to that, and that's what I wanted to try to keep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you're going to be your recent disc is Color Crimes, and I know you had pushed to get that nominated for a Grammy. What came of that?
Well, we got first round and 7 categories, but we didn't make the final round. Like I said, we're up against the biggest and the baddest in the business, and who was nominated in the blues this year? Some great people. I mean, I think it's Cedric Burnside. I loved his album, Hill Country Blues. He's phenomenal, and Joe Bonamassa's up there. So the competition's quite stiff, but I think eventually we will get one. We won't stop, but I was just glad to be in the first round. It was great.
There you go. Well, off of that album, it's called Color Crimes. We're going to play the title cut right now. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right. If you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. I am here with Eliza-Neals, her latest release, Color Crimes, and here is the title cut. it is. Eliza-Neals, Color Crimes here on Rock On Radio. And tell me about that album and that song in particular. What was the thought process when you were writing that?
Well, growing up in the suburbs of Detroit, I went to Wayne State University, and all my friends and I was in a very diverse crowd, a lot of African American friends and myself, and I would see things that would be happening to them, and then to me as well. I witnessed a lot of racism and a lot of bigotry, a lot of sexism even, and just a lot of people acting stupid. It's like, stop already. And so this song was written a while back. I wrote this song quite a while back, but I arranged the song at the Bradenton Blues Festival this past year, live on stage, and my band didn't even know what I was doing. They just were looking at me going, "What song?" I said, "Well, this is a new song. It's called Color Crimes. Just follow me, guys. It's a new arrangement." And they just looked at me, and they were pros. They followed my cues. It came out great. And I said to myself, there wasn't a dry eye in the audience. I said, you know what? That's going to be my next single. That's what I'm doing. So I came back home, and I had a tape recording of the video, and I put that exact arrangement down in the studio, and that was the next single, and I wanted to release it. After everything that's been going on in our world, it's never ending, it seems. So it's relevant to any time period, and I'm hoping one day it won't be relevant. But right now it is, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of craziness, and they need to stop.
I totally understand what you're saying. I had a feeling it was something along them lines, but you can never be sure. That's the beauty of art. Because
it's all true. Like all these, I witnessed so much stuff, and I hung around Barrett Strong for many years, where we drove to Nashville to do a show, and he had a beautiful car, a Jag, brand new, and he had his best friend with him, Robert Bateman, who wrote Mr. Postman, from Motown. Mm-hmm. And I went with them, and so when we're driving through the South, they told me to hide in the back seat with a blanket over my head because they were afraid of the police.
Oh, wow.
So, that's what we did. And so I witnessed that. And then, like at the gas station, I'd have to hide down and stuff. They were scared because they're both older gentlemen, and they were subjected to a lot of racism back in the 50s. Like Barrett would have to go in the back door when he would sing, right. And he would have to drink out of different, drinking fountains, the whole thing, until slavery and whole racism and the whole movement, with Martin Luther King stopping all that crap and making everybody try to, come together. And he witnessed a lot of racism in the South.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, so that's where that song came from.
Well, and it's the odd thing is just today, literally several hours ago, I was telling a very young lady, she's probably 22 years old, 21, 22 years old, how I can remember as a 5 or 6 year old going into a school where my grandmother worked in the cafeteria and going up to the water fountain to get a drink, and her saying, no, you can't drink from that one. You have to drink from this one. And they were still marked black and white. And
that's terrible.
And
I know.
It was like, wow.
What?
And you look back. She looked at me like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, that was 1966."
Right, we're still in the 60s. Yeah, it was terrible. And the stories they told me, and it was quite eye-opening. And I was just like, "Come on, I can just sit up in the car, no problem." No, they were very, very scared.
Right.
And it was terrible. And they were dead serious about it, So anyway, it's better now. It's getting better each day, I believe. So right. I'm trying to spread every show I do. It's called Love. We spread love. Everyone looks at each other. And that's what I think, purpose is on the earth, is try to just spread some joy and love at each show and bring people together. That's really what it is for me.
Well, I do know every time I've seen you, it is a very exhilarating experience. Your stage show is fantastic. And even though I
man.
know it's a Christmas party, I know you're going to treat it as if you're playing that Bradenton Festival for 20,000 people again.
Yes, we will. Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
so if anybody listening wants to come out and see a kick butt blues band with the great Eliza-Neals at the helm, you're going to have to come out to McClune Supper Club on December 8th. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. and I'm guessing you probably hit the stage somewhere around 7:30.
Yeah, till 9. It's over at 9:30, I believe.
Right. So I'm guessing that in order to buy tickets, you can either go through McClune's.com or McCluneSupperClub.com or the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation website, which is jsjbf.org for tickets to that show. So
Yeah.
it always thrills me to talk to you and to see you and Jay, and because in this business, it's another conversation I had today. In this business, it's kind of one of those "what have you done for me lately" type of things.
Yeah.
I interview people and you do gigs, and once you're gone, you're gone. People, it's very rare, at least on my end, where people will call and say, or send me a text or a Facebook message or something on social media. Hey, Danny, what's up? Hey, Danny, thanks for this, that, or the other thing. And most times I'm forgotten all the time. But when I deal with people like you and Jay, it's always good to know that you appreciate not only
yeah.
your fellow artists, but the people who help promote you and the venues. And I don't know anybody who's ever had a bad working relationship or word to say about Eliza-Neals.
Well, God, that makes me feel good because you know what? We want to be treated the way we treat others, and we really love everybody who's out here trying to push, live music and trying to bring some love and humanity to our world. So you're one of those top people. So we appreciate you, Danny, and everything you do. You put out 100% of yourself, and it shows. So we're honored to always be talking to you.
Well, thank you for that, Eliza, and we try here
Yes.
at Rock On Radio.
Yeah, you do a great job.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
One of the what websites, social media? What's the best way for people to look for Eliza-Neals?
So if you go to my website, just Eliza-Neals.com, ELIZANEALS.com, and then you can go to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So there's all kinds of information there. If you want, YouTube's also tons of live videos. You can see all the festivals that I've played and all the stuff I did at Mystique with Mr. Joe Louis Walker, and I actually I have some news coming out that's with him, but I can't say till he announces it. But it's some fun stuff. I worked with Joe a little bit, and you'll be hearing about it, I hope, soon. But he's a great friend, and I love him.
Oh, fantastic.
Very talented and a big mentor for me.
Yes, he is. He calls, you know what he calls people like you? He calls people like you his puppies.
I'll take it. That's fine with me. I'll say a puppy.
I was talking to him.
It.
And he was talking about Vanessa Collier, and he's like, "Oh yeah, people like her are my puppies. They started in my band, or they played with me, or I played for them, and I kind of helped them along. They're my puppies."
He does. He is, and he does. Yep.
Funny.
He's awesome. Yep, he's something else. That guy.
Well,
amazing icon, legend.
That he is. Before I let you go, there's one more song we're going to play after you and I are done. And off of that same album, Color Crimes. It was the first single you dropped, and it's called
Something's Better Than Nothing.
And I remember you telling me when you were in studio with me about how you wrote that, like Candy Store, and a song like this one. It was something else you learned from the great Barrett Strong.
Yeah, Barrett, it's just, he writes about real life experiences. A friend of ours' son was complaining about his clothes, and we were there listening, and Barrett says, yeah, something's better than nothing to the kid. And he's like, yeah, I guess, and then Barrett started writing it, and then he He asked me to do a line, and I did a line, and he did a line, and we went back and forth and back and forth. And then he cut it on himself. And then I just redid it recently on myself because he wanted actually Bonnie Raitt and me to do it. So who knows? Maybe Bonnie will hear it. I'm sure she's heard it on Bluesville, and pick up her slide and start playing it because Bear really, really wanted to. When we wrote it, actually, we wanted Bonnie to sing it. But then he wanted me to do it, too. So I finally got around to doing it, and he heard it. God rest his soul. He heard it before he passed away, and he loved it.
As he should. It's a fantastic tune. That's for sure.
Thank you, Danny.
And, all right, Eliza, well, thank you. And thank you, Jay. I know you can hear me, buddy, so that's good.
He's driving. He's so crazy. He's watching the road. I'd be sleeping by now, but he's got, I don't know, his eyes just don't close. Thank God.
Well, you tell him I'll buy him another beer on Sunday the 8th when I see him.
Sounds great. I can't wait to see you, and we're going to have a great holiday drink, okay?
There you go. I'll come see you beforehand. I'll sneak back there. Hopefully it'll let me in, but
oh yeah.
In the
we're gonna have little package, little party favors and stuff. They need some Christmas presents. We're gonna have little bundles that people can pick up, CDs and shirts and stuff, and maybe some jackets for the stocking stuffers and stuff.
Nice. And you are going to have to send me these Christmas tunes that you've done. If you've got any recorded, send them to me, and I'll play them on my blues music show.
Yeah, I got one. I wrote with Barrett. It's called On This Merry Christmas Day. I'll send it to you.
All right, send it to me, and I'll play it on my blues music show, Danny Coleman's Got the Blues, and on the Rock on Radio Christmas show, which is coming up in a couple weeks.
All right, we'll get it to you as soon as we get back to Jersey. Do we have to get back to Jersey to send it? We might be able to. We might have it on us on the computer. So give me a couple days. We'll find it. Okay.
That's fine, my friend. At your leisure, you can do that. Send that over to me.
A shout out to the great Tom Baldino for hooking up the party and hiring me, and let's have a great time. And thanks, Tom. If you're listening, we love you.
There you go. Yes, Tom Baldino, the president of the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Once again, JBF.org. If you want tickets to McClune Supper Club December 8th for the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation holiday party, they're relatively inexpensive. I think they're like $30 or something like that.
Yeah, like $30. You can go out and have a beautiful dinner and hear a band and have some fun. So it's going to be a good time.
That's it. All right, Eliza, I look forward to seeing you next week then.
All right, looking forward to it, and much love to you, and see you soon.
All right, and we have Something Is Better Than Nothing from the great Eliza-Neals. Rock on, my friend.
Yeah, you too, Danny. Thanks. Bye.
So you're ashamed of the clothes you wear. They're not designer, nobody cares. Clothes don't make the person better. Listen to me. Take this advice, it's totally free. Listen, just be thankful for what you got.
she is, Eliza-Neals.
It's nice to hear from her.
And I never actually asked her the story about color crimes, and I did this time, as you heard, and what she's experienced growing up in Detroit, a veritable mixing of a melting pot,
Definitely.
all races, creeds, and colors. So that's fantastic. Now we have the Bluespeople. Bluespeoplenj.com, I believe, is their website. But this call came through because they're going to the IBC. Plus, they have some really cool gigs before they head to Memphis in January. And these guys are great. It's the first time I ever spoke to them. And I just wish we could have gotten them in studio, because I think it would have been one of those where we had no control over the situation. Kind of like with Charles Larita, who, once again, if you ever hear any of the radio shows I do, every theme song is written by Charles Larita of Charles Larita and the Mischief. So we're going to get right into it, because we're expecting a call after this segment is over. So here are Mike, Kelton, Ron, and Gene, the Bluespeople. Great. On the phone, I have with me the Bluespeople. Tell me, hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing fine. Good.
Fantastic. Who do I have with me on the phone?
So, thanks for having us. We have keyboardist Ron Thompson. We have drummer Gene Lake and bassist Mike Griot, which is me.
Okay, fantastic. So tell me about the Bluespeople. I know you guys are going to the IBC in Memphis in January, correct?
That's right. We're going back second time.
All right, so let's go through a history of the band. How did everything come together? Who was the catalyst? How did it get started? Go ahead.
I'll give it to Gene. Well, I want to say I was doing top 40 hits with Kelton, our guitarist Kelton Cooper, and I heard him play, and I was like, we should probably do some blues hits. And then from playing over at Hat City, a place that Mike was dealing with, we started doing a few blues hits with another keyboard player. And as fate would have it, we started trying to get some recordings together. And then it just developed, into us finding a keyboard player, which happened to be Ron Thompson. And we started doing hits from there. The pandemic definitely sort of, helped us crystallize a few things with the whole world being shut down. So I'll try to keep it brief. I'll end it right there. But that's generally the gist of it.
Well, now, as a drummer myself, Gene, I'm impressed that the band lets you talk, because usually they try to shove us in the back,
I know, man. You're right about that, man. Let me get a couple words in. That's all right. You drummers, boy, I tell you. Yeah, I'm here. Oh, he's here. That's Kelton Cooper. That's the front man. Reluctantly.
Reluctantly.
He says that a lot too. There's nothing reluctant about you, mister.
So with the other thing is, COVID put a stop to a lot of things. So did you guys take that time to work on your original music, or did you take it as a chance to get away from each other? What did you do?
No, can I answer that question? Well, sorry, I need to cut you off. Go ahead. No, you can't, Kelton. He asked me first. They got me in here, but just. Well, you know what? So you answer the question then I'll do my. No, but I want you to chime in. So we started for sure. That's right, Danny. We started, like I said, helped us, crystallize, and we started getting tunes together and working on arrangements and so forth. And So in that way, I do think that was a positive for this band. I would say. But what do you got to add, Coach?
Mike Rio threatened us.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell the truth today. Mike Rio threatened us, okay?
Finally, the truth. None of these lies.
Yes. We went to him. Gene had been badgering me to put something together for the last, 4 years. So we were working at Mike's club. So I went up to him one day and said, hey, man, let's put a blues band together. So he gave me this Mike Rio look. All right, I'll do it on one condition. The moment we become a cover band, lose my number. So he pretty much forced us to write songs, and next thing you know, we were just putting tunes together. Next thing you know, we got a whole kit and caboodle full of tunes now. So that's how the project, came about.
Yeah, and I will definitely also add that to your original point, it's sort of ironic that because we were all busy, if the pandemic didn't happen, we would have never really got together like that, because the pandemic cleared everybody's schedule.
It sure did.
And that turned out to be sort of how we could focus, and that was good.
Yeah, that the pandemic definitely changed a lot of things for a lot of people. And after I was talking with Doug, your PR gentleman there, Mr. Doug, and he told me 2 of you were based out of New York and 2 of you out of New Jersey.
Well, I'm in New York. I'm Ron. This is Ron, the keyboard player, and I'm in New York. I think the rest of these cats are New Jerseyans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, because I know, that kind of affected things too. You weren't allowed to go anywhere, weren't allowed to do anything, unless, of course, you were a rebel like me who didn't care, and I didn't change my life one iota.
Good for you, man. That's brave.
I took a week off of the radio show so I could figure out how I could go underground and do it without anybody giving me a hard time. I got thrown out of 2 radio stations, 2 different times each.
Wow.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah, there you go. And as a drummer, my favorite genre to perform, and I am primarily a blues musician myself. So when I received your music a while back, I've been airing it not only on this show, but on Danny Coleman's Got the Blues, which airs on several FM stations here in Jersey and online as well. So I thoroughly enjoy what you gentlemen have put together and have done, whether it came out of a pandemic or not. I think it's great.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
For sure. Yeah.
So now you have some big stuff happening. You're going to the IBC in January. Which local one did you win at?
We won the North Jersey Blues Society, so that basically covers everything north of Red Bank and stuff, all the way up to the top and that whole region.
All right, because I'm a member of the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation, and we do a lot of cooperating and working with the North Jersey Blues Foundation as well. So I think that's fantastic. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you. Yeah, we know Tom Baldino pretty well, and we've done a few things down your neck of the woods, but we are looking to expand our ground game to the southern part of the state, obviously, and hopefully people like you and Tom and Doug will help us do that.
That would be fantastic. Matter of fact, I just got off the phone before I spoke with you. I just got off the phone with Eliza-Neals, and she's going to be headlining the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation Christmas Party, which is December 8th at McClune Supper Club in Asbury Park. But she's also played venues like the Lizzie Rose Music Room and other, which for some reason that little Victorian house where you're packed in like sardines attracts some of the biggest names in blues music. I saw Stanley Jordan there back in May. They have Joe Louis Walker. They have Nick Moss. They have James Montgomery. They have all kinds of people that stop there on their way through. Eliza has played there. So Shamika Copeland has played there. It's fantastic stuff. So you mentioned if we ever become a cover band, you're out. Now in blues music, excuse me, guys. In blues music, you cannot help but do one or two covers here and there, maybe more. So do you guys have any in your repertoire? And does that affect the agreement at all?
Well, we tweak them. We tweak them. If we cover them, we tweak them.
So they're reimagined cover tunes.
That's
Somewhat.
a more dignified way to play it.
Right.
You know?
Well, Kelton in particular, I mean, we have to give Kelton credit for that, because I don't think just the way Kelton approaches things as a front man and an artist, I don't think he would be satisfied just to do it the way the original is. You know, it would have to be his own spin, and also, you know, I know that he has chosen for us a lot of sort of more obscure and B-side covers, which to a lot of people may come across like originals because they weren't overplayed per se. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, you gentlemen, you all enjoy blues music, or you all would not want to make the band a blues band. So I don't care who goes first, but one at a time. Who were your favorite blues artists, and who do you listen to now?
Oh, that's easy for me. That's Muddy Waters, definitely.
Okay.
You know. Go ahead, yo.
Why Muddy?
I'm sorry.
Why Muddy? What made him your choice?
Why
not?
You know,
right?
Well, my father, he was a musician in Oliver Lake. He told me once, he's a sax player, there's two kinds of music, good and bad. So Muddy's good, and there you go.
Let me tell you, I had the sincere pleasure a few years back of interviewing James Cotton.
Okay.
And I said to him, what's your favorite type of blues music? And I expected him to say, like, jump blues, Chicago, Texas, swing, something, right? And he says to me, good blues. I like good blues. I don't like bad music.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's funny that you would mention James Cotton. We do one of his covers, "Baby Come Back to Me."
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
reimagined.
We do one of his songs. Yes, we do.
All right. So we have Muddy Waters. Who's next?
Well, I want to say that, I was a fan of the blues before I knew I was a fan of the blues. So it wasn't like I had a favorite artist. Although, of course, there was B.B. King and, some of the jazz blues singers. But I just grew up knowing that I dug it. And when I, finally started playing out and playing the blues with people like Ray Shinnery and Bo Diddley Jr., that really developed, enhanced my love for the music, and that was my sort of baptism into the blues, So it was less me idolizing a lot of the records that I used to hear at parties at my uncles and aunts' house, my relatives' houses. It was and knowing exactly who they were until I started, actually playing it myself or having the opportunity to play, because I always kind of learned I mean, when I started playing piano, my uncle, who is, he's not a famous musician. He played blues guitar, and he was in the Marine Corps, and he came home and he was, he played while he was in Vietnam, and he played the blues, but and that's all he played really. He, every song that he played ended up being a blues, and so that kind of it kind of nurtured me, into the blues musician that I might have become and continue to be in a lot of ways.
No, I get that, because as a kid growing up, my mother would listen to Elvis Presley and Creedence Clearwater, and then I find, she gave me all of her 45s as a kid, and I'm listening to Fats Domino and Gary U.S. Bonds and all these other these artists, and I thought it was just rock and roll. And then my cousin gave me Led Zeppelin 4 for my 12th birthday, and I've had lead poisoning ever since. And I'm like, so, I go to Led Zeppelin 1, and I'm like, whoa, this is great. And then well, wait a minute, that's Willie Dixon. And then you just start going back in time,
Right.
And
yeah, absolutely.
And it really fosters, even if you don't know it, it fostered a love for the genre.
Sure.
All right, who's next?
I'll go next. So I'm sort of similar to Ron in that I really didn't know what I was listening to. I think part of it had to do, back in those days, radio was a lot more inclusive in terms of like putting different genres in one station. So, I had big ears, and I remember my father, I was a typical kid that go down in the basement and with the stereo and have my dad yelling at me because I wouldn't do my homework and go to bed on time because I was down listening to records. And I remember my father had this record, and it was this male singer, and he was just really soulful, and it was Bobby Blue Bland.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, I didn't even know that it was blues per se. I just knew, man, just a feeling, this dude, it was just a feeling. So I always kind of attached myself to feelings. But later on, again, similar to Ron, once I started working professionally and touring with a lot of different types of artists, a lot of it was on the job training, because my first proper blues gig was with Deborah Coleman back in the early 90s. And then at the same time, I started working with the great Michael Hill and Michael Hill's Blues Mob, also
nice
in the early 90s. And that's really where I got my baptism, the introduction was through Deborah in terms of being like a working bass player, but the grad school was with Michael Hill. he and the great drummer Tony Lewis. He and Tony Lewis basically just whipped my ass on my first year. On my first European tour, and Michael Hill gave me like 50 songs. Because he had done probably like 8 albums by the time I got the gig, and and just one more quick point. So I remember, I'm a pretty good study, so I did as best as I could to prepare for the tour. And we got out there in Europe, and I made a few mistakes, and all I remember is Tony Lewis yelling the changes, the actual bass changes to me while he's playing drums. And I had never known a drummer who could do that. And I was just like, he was like, E flat, E flat, E flat again. And I was off, and there you go.
Well, you know why that is? Because you keep us stuck in the back and never let us say anything. That's why.
Well, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to drummers like that.
All right. You dig. And we should have one more of you left, right? Who has not?
Yeah, I guess I'm the last guy in the totem pole.
There you go.
No, there's no totem pole.
Well,
I mean, the top, I guess, right?
I don't know, man. Well, my education basically came to start early at the age of 4. I had a cousin who moved in with me and my parents, and he was from South Carolina. He played guitar. The only thing he showed up with was with his 335, some records in his suitcase, and that's when the education began. I came from like a soul R&B background, but the blues was pretty big too. My mother loved B.B. King. To this day, she still loves B.B. King.
Nice.
B.B. King, Bobby Bland. I got my first blues record I ever heard was "Scratch My Back" by Slim Harpo.
Oh, nice.
And my mother would play that every day to the point where I got sick of hearing it. And years later, I was playing more R&B. I played with Cool and the Gang for at least 16 years.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I was a member of Cool and the Gang for 16 years.
You know my buddy then, Michael Ray.
Of course I know Mike.
How about small world, man? Music makes the world small.
Ronald Bell was my musical mentor.
Okay.
And so I ended up, so years later, I got a little older. My cousin turned me on to Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was already listening to Hendrix. I was more of a fusion guy. I liked Return to Forever and Tony Williams' Lifeline, listened to Alan Holdsworth and Al Dini, all those guys like that. So my cousin calls me up in 1985. I'll never forget it. He said, "Hey, you got to hear this guy. He sounds just like Hendrix." I said, "What's his name?" He said, "Stevie Ray Vaughan." So I go out. I get his first album and the second album. I'm listening. And then I'm hearing this blues. And I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. So I read an interview that he had given the Guitar Player magazine about his influences, which was Albert King, which you could clearly hear it in his playing.
Oh, yeah.
Freddie King, B.B., Albert Collins. So what I did to learn what the blues was, I started listening to them. And that's when it pretty much, took shape. And I ended up playing with a local blues band called the Black Widow Blues Band. And it was a pretty big band, had a 3-piece horn section. It was 8 of us. And that's when I really got my baptism in the blues. The keyboard player, he's not with us any longer. His name was Ray Ellis. He listened to every genre of music, but the man was a walking songbook. So with our cover stuff, the reason that I choose the obscure cover stuff is because he was the one who really turned me on to all types of different blues. And like Little Junior Parker and like I said, Slim Harpo and people like Walter Wolfman Washington, and all these guys, Luther Allison, he was real big on Freddie King, and B.B. I like all the early stuff that B.B. did was awesome. So that's how I got my blues education. So it just morphed into what it is right now. And so far as who I listen to now, I like Eric Gales,
nice.
Kingfish, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Fletcher.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Is he still with the Thunderbirds?
No, you're talking about the guitar player, Kirk Fletcher.
Yeah, he was playing for the Fabulous Thunderbirds last time I talked to him, probably about a year and a half ago. He was playing guitar for them. Because he put out a solo disc.
Well, he got a couple of albums out, actually. Dean Shutt was a guitar player for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But, I kind of keep up with all the current blues artists that are out there. I'm very good friends with Kingfish, Mr. Sip, I'm very close to Matthias Latine. So I pretty much, we talk Stephen Ho, Wayne Baker Brooks. That's our buddy.
Nice.
So So we, we're kind of like in the conversation. We're trying to making our way through everything.
I have to give a shout out though. I forgot though. In terms of somebody that I like now, it's somebody who's not new, but I saw him about a year ago, Mr. Robert Cray, and I saw him in concert, and I immediately thought, this is why Robert Cray is Robert Cray. And I really, really enjoyed just kind of like the swagger. Like when you see Robert Cray in a proper environment, you understand, like you hear all of his like 50 years in the business. Like you hear it when he sings and you hear it when he plays. So shout out to Robert Cray.
Yeah, he's very smooth, Mr. Cray.
Yeah, I want to add to that, Mike, because you're right. Having worked, I'm sorry to cut you off, Danny, but to play, when I was touring with Boss Guys years ago, we did a couple dates with him, and you're right, that guy, he's road dogging it. So what you're hearing, when you see him, you're seeing someone who has cut their teeth in the business, who's out there on the road, who understands how to work artists, who's a master at what he does.
Exactly.
And he's just on the top of his game.
Authentic, too. He's very authentic,
yeah, exactly.
Robert Cray.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and speaking of which, you guys have authentically put out an album called The Skin I'm In. Let me hear a little bit about that, and then we're going to play a cut.
All right. Well, The Skin I'm In is the title track of the album, and I'll just say that it started musically by Gene Lake and Kelton Cooper.
And now tell the real story how that tune came about.
No, why don't you tell it? Because you're better at it.
This was the first time that we actually got together during the pandemic. I was at Gene's house. We recorded everything at Gene's house.
Oh, this is funny. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're sitting around, and Gene is showing me, a lot of his plugins and his computer and stuff. And we're farting around. So Gene says to me, "Hey man, Mike ain't here yet, but we better start working on something before he gets here." I said, "Yeah, he's gonna come in and he's gonna be raising all kind of saying, you guys are here all the time. You guys are do that." So we didn't want to hear his mouth. So that's
true. That's true.
Yeah. So the first thing we came up with, Gene already had the drum pattern, but me and Gene Gene got on the keys, because Gene's an excellent keyboard player and bass player too, besides drummer. Don't throw that out there. Gene got on the keys and started playing the bass line. I was on guitar. So we kind of like put the bass line together. And Gene got on the drums, came up with a pattern. So by the time Mike walked in, we had the chords, we had the bass line, we had the drum pattern. So we're just showing Mike the bass line, and then the rest is history. Then me and Mike wrote the lyrics, and it took a form, pretty much took a life of his own after that.
And that's the title cut, The Skin I'm In?
Yes. Well, let me tell you, we were threatened into doing that.
This seems to be a recurring theme with this threat.
When I wake up in the morning with a smile on my face, glad to be alive so I can run this human race. I stepped outside, and to my surprise, the world has changed right before my eyes. She don't like the way I talk, he don't like the way I walk, they don't like the way I think, 'cause it puts me to my brain. And why do you pretend and claim to be my friend? Don't judge me yet again, it's just the skin I'm in. Just the skin I'm in. Well, I try to understand what it takes to be a man, living in a place that feels feels like foreign land. And I do my best, seems just like a test. So misunderstood, but they say I got it good. She don't like the way I talk, she don't like the way I walk. They don't like the way I think, 'cause they push me to my brink. And why do you pretend and claim to be my friend? Don't judge me yet again, it's just the skin I'm in. Just the skin I'm in. Story, and it's mine to tell. My trials and tribulations, a special kind of hell. You may not believe me, and no matter what you think, although all men are equal, that's not what all men think. You don't like the way I talk, you don't like the way I walk. They don't like the way I think, 'cause they push me to my brink. And why do you pretend and claim to be my friend? It's time to comprehend. It's just us getting I'm in. Just the skin I'm in. Well, just the skin I'm in. Oh, just the skin I'm in.
Bluespeople with The Skin I'm In, the title cut from their latest release. They will be going to the IBC Challenge in January in Memphis, Tennessee. I was just in Memphis in September. Boy, I love that town. Love that town. I spent 3 days there and 3 days in Nashville, and I would take Memphis over Nashville any day of the week.
Which has better barbecue?
Definitely, Memphis had better everything. Memphis had $3 Bloody Marys. I mean, come on.
Okay, it was full stop right there.
It was $30 a night to valet my car in Memphis. It was $66 in Nashville. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, that figures.
I'm not cheap, but I'm not stupid either. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. So it's like. What I loved about
like we did, we parked on the street.
Well, I stayed at the corner of Beale and something else. I can't remember what the intersection was, but my first day there, I walked on down to the Blues Foundation, which of course is across the street from the Lorraine Motel. And I was really, here I am, Memphis is this thriving metropolis, or I thought it was a thriving metropolis, a big city. And I didn't see one other person on the sidewalk in the 8 or 9 blocks it took me to walk to the Blues Foundation. And on the way back, I walked across the street to the Lorraine Hotel, and stood there for a few. And then on the way back, I walked up this, and I found a smoke shop. And I wanted to go in. I thought, you know what? I smoke cigars. I'm going to go in. I'm going to patronize this cigar shop. And they looked at me the way, excuse me, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall looked at James Earl Jones when he walked in the barbershop in Coming to America. like, why is this little white guy in my cigar shop, you know? And I bought a couple.
You wanted a cigar.
That's exactly right. And I bought a couple cigars from the guy, and we had a quick conversation, and I walked out. I saw one other person on that side of the street, and then I didn't see anybody. I got to Beale Street, and Beale Street, I could walk. I didn't bump into anybody. It wasn't at all crowded. Saturday night was a mob scene. I walked down there. I said, forget it. Turn around, walk back. But the clubs were authentic. The people were authentic. Everything was so real. I heard original blues. I heard fantastic cover material mixed with original blues. You know, as opposed to Memphis, which I heard the same freaking country song in every single bar I went into. You know, but I was very, very, very impressed with Memphis. So when you go down there, what will you be playing? Will you be playing strictly your originals, or are you going to throw some covers in?
Well, here's well, yeah, right. Well, here's the hook too. It's no secret, especially since we did this routine last year with IBC. It's no secret that the judges frown upon doing non-original material.
Excellent.
And so your chances, in theory, are better if you do originals. And of course, we have no anxiety about that whatsoever. So we're good.
Now, I wasn't sure because I've never been to the actual IBC in Memphis. I have hosted and emceed the one here for the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Mm-hmm. But I had never been down to Memphis during an IBC, so I wasn't sure how that worked. So how long is your set when you go down there in January?
So I'll break it down like this. So it's set up like a sporting series. So you have 2 quarterfinal rounds, you have a semifinal round, and then you have the finals. And it's all sudden death eliminations every night. So they go from about 200 bands through the quarters, and by the time you get to the semis, you're down to about 20, and then finally you're down to about 8 finalists across different categories. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of bands don't make it past the first night. We were fortunate last year. We got to the semifinals our first time down there, and yeah, it's it's all at different clubs on Beale Street, and you don't find out whether you've made it until after you've played that round, and later that night they announce who gets to go on. So that kind of adds to the vibe because everybody is wandering around wondering, did they get killed that night? So,
do you know what club you'll be playing when you go there?
I don't know the schedule, but I can tell you from last year, most of the bands, we played at Alfred's on Beale Street.
Okay.
We played at 152
All right.
on Beale Street. And then we are focused this year, with any luck, to play at the Orpheum Theater, which is the finals.
Oh, that's nice. Great day. That's where my hotel was the next corner up.
Right.
On the corner of Beale and whatever that street was there. Oh, fantastic. Good for you, man. That's great. So, this next cut we're going to play is called Amnesia. Is that something you do live? How long is your set?
Kelton, yeah, we do it live. What are we, Kelton? Is it it's 20 minutes, right?
Well, in the are you asking how long is the set in the competition, or just our regular set when we do a show?
Both.
Okay. The shows can vary because we usually, depending on the club that we'll play, we'll usually like do 2:45 to an hour set. You know what I mean? Right. A lot of times, what ends up happening in that second set, they ask for an encore, and they'll keep asking for encores till we unplug and say good night. We're going home. But yeah, but normally it's between an hour and 45 minutes per set.
Okay. All right. And what about it? Now, is that the IBC or is that your regular club gigs?
No, those are the regular club gigs. Now, on the festivals where we've been by ourselves, we've done like 90 minutes. Okay. We know a billion songs. We can go for 2 hours. We can go for 2.5 hours if we have to. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
how Now, IBC is different. IBC, the rules state you do, all right, the first quarterfinal round is on the Wednesday, and you do 20 minutes. And then the next quarterfinal round is on the Thursday, and you do 20 minutes. And
I think it's 25, man. Check that again. I think they increased it to 25 this time.
Oh, and then if you make it to the semis on Friday, that's 30 minutes. And then if you make it to the finals on Saturday, you're back to 20 minutes again.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Some bands take 15, 20 minutes to warm up.
With that, you got to pretty much come with your guns loaded and ready to destroy everything as soon as you get to stage. Let me tell you, if no one has ever done it and you don't know what you're walking into, God bless you, and I'll say a prayer for you. That's all I'll say.
Well, there's got to be a first time for everything, right?
Yeah, it's a baptism, I'll tell you that.
Now, this song, Amnesia, is that something you put in your set? Since you guys, when we were talking before we started the interview, everybody seems to kind of focus on this tune. So tell me about it.
We do that every show that we play. Once we got, start getting the original material, under our fingers and stuff like that. Some nights we do like 6 songs off the album, mixed with the cover stuff that we do. You know what it is? It all depends how the audience is, what kind of feedback we're getting from them, how I feel, and then we just go with it. You go with the flow. It's all about the feel.
Okay. All right. Well, Amnesia is also on The Skin I'm In, and we're going to let that roll right now. Is that all right with you, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah.
All right. If you're just tuning in, I have the Bluespeople. I have Mike. I have Kelton. I have Gene. And I have Ron. And here is a song called Amnesia.
I work hard all day and I play my music at night. I bring the money home, but all we do is fuss and fight. There's gotta be a change, 'cause things can't stay the same. Oh, they can't stay the same. Why should I take the blame when amnesia is your game? Oh, amnesia is your game. Remember yesterday, I wanted you to stay. All the plans we made suddenly began to fade. I can feel the change. Things ain't just the same. got a brand new claim to fame. Amnesia is your name. Oh, it is your name. Well, I'm better now. I made a way somehow. So every night I pray as you slowly slip away. Now everything has changed. Thank God salvation came. But the scars still remain the same. Amnesia caused my pain, caused my pain, so much pain, yeah.
Off their album, The Skin I'm In, that's the Bluespeople once again here on Rock On Radio with Amnesia. I'm surprised. Usually, I can't remember my own name. I'm surprised I remembered all four of yours at that
All right.
Speaking of
Don't
amnesia.
feel bad. I have to remember the lyrics.
Right.
Okay, I have to remember the lyrics. Okay.
So, well, and how, speaking of for those of us who can't remember, how do we find you so that we can remember?
So, you can go to Bluespeople NJ, like New Jersey, bluespeoplenj.com, and you can find everything in terms of our backstory. We have concert videos, we have press We have reviews. We have actually, thank God, we have charts, and you can see how we're doing here and around the world on the charts. And we also have a list of our upcoming shows. And we just added, just for you, Danny, we just added a show down at Bradley Beach. I think it's in February. So we will be finally coming back down your way fairly soon.
Bradley Beach, where at?
So I just got this call yesterday, and they are starting something called the Bradley Beach Jazz Festival. This is new.
All right.
It's hot off the presses. So on February 8th at 7 p.m., they're going to have it. They may have it at, I think it's actually a school, but this is a new winter event that the town and the culture division is supporting. And we're on the gig, so come on out to Bradley Beach and check us out on February 8th at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Triumph Brewery.
Oh yes,
December 13th.
Oh, in Red Bank.
We're in Red Bank.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
Fine.
All right.
That's on the 13th
Okay.
of December. Yeah.
All right, so that's December 13th in Red Bank, New Jersey, Triumph Brewery. Anything else between now and the end of the year?
We are, this makes me smile because, every band has like a home base gig that they love, and their fans come and the club treats you well and you have a good time. So Shanghai Jazz in Madison, New Jersey has become like a second home for us. And they asked us this year to do their New Year's Eve gig. So we will be at Shanghai Jazz in Madison, New Jersey for New Year's Eve. And that's going to be a ball. So if you want to keep it local and you're in our area, great place to come hang out.
Fantastic. And all that can be found on your website?
Absolutely. Bluespeoplenj.com. And obviously, January 7th through 12th, we will be at IBC Memphis in Memphis, Tennessee. And, wish us luck.
Oh, yeah, gosh. I hope so. That would be fantastic. You'll have to check back in with me when you come home and let us know how you did.
Yeah. As long as we didn't get booed, we'll give you a call.
I would say, if that's the case, that I will not confirm or deny that rumor.
Right. Just keep playing the music. Just keep playing the music, man.
Right. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to call Rock On Radio here, and I can't thank you enough. We're going to go out on one more of your tunes. It's called "I Was Always There." Now, this is also on The Skin I'm In, correct?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Do we want to talk about this, or do we just let it rip?
If you listen to the tunes, I will say this. The tunes about, the majority of the album is about our personal life experiences, how we view the world. The album is basically a concept album of how we view things. It's very interesting. Mike pretty much MCs the night, and I'm the hype man. So basically, he always informs the listening audience to listen to the lyrics. And after we play these songs, we get a lot of feedback from, people actually listen, and the response has been very positive, very good. So keep on doing what we do.
Yeah, the tune will take you out on one of the stories we have common to at least two of us, maybe more. I never really asked. Is the idea of being in a relationship that ultimately didn't work out, and there being some sort of misunderstanding about history. Because when people are in good times, people speak very favorably of each other. But when the relationship goes south, all of a sudden the whole narrative changes. And so Kelton and I basically are telling the story around the idea of selective amnesia, meaning you conveniently forget some things that were always true, but it probably doesn't suit your purposes today to tell it the way it actually happened, right?
Yeah. Been there, my friend. I've been there. I understand that. All right. Well, the song is called "I Was Always There." Once again, bluespeoplenj.com.
That's right.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Mike, Kelton, Gene, Rod, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to call Rock On Radio.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Best of luck in Memphis, and best of luck on New Year's Eve. And rock on.
All right, Danny.
Right.
Thanks for having us. And I pretty much have everybody on the line here. I just want you all to know. But go ahead.
All right, guys. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, man.
Well, we never seen eye to eye. It didn't work. Lord knows I tried, but you know, I tried to be fair. No matter what you said, I was always there. My mama always said, do your best. Just keep the faith and let God do the rest. What she said, you better listen and beware. So let me remind you, I was always there. Come on, Rob, please. I never cared. No matter what folks tell you, I was always there. I never left you when you started to fall. I knew the mission and I answered the call. I see we weren't a perfect pair. So let me say it for the record, I was always there. Yeah. I was always there. I was always there. I was always
There they are, the Bluespeople. And guys cracked me up. They were funny. Great interview. Well, the phone call from Rebecca that we were expecting?
Uh-huh.
Well, here it is.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Hello, Rebecca. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
We are fantastic here at Rock On Radio. You are calling me. You from where again?
From Seagate. It's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Ooh,
Nice. And you are calling me because you have a film that you have. Have you starred and directed in, or is this just your own production?
I wrote it and I starred in it and I produced it.
Okay, and it's incredibly interesting, especially for this time of year. It is called what?
So we filmed it in June, and it came out end of June, and it's about to be in a festival. It is called Grandma's House.
Ah, all right. So tell us about it. Grandma's house. Over the river and through the woods?
Correct. Well, we filmed at my grandma's house. So it's this fun little kind of schlocky horror film about this newly engaged woman, and she's visiting her grandma, who's taken care of by her sister. And the grandma has seemingly kind of declined in health and sanity since her beloved husband has passed. And it's kind of I guess I would say, like a weird kind of off-kilter intergenerational tale of these three strong women and their weird dynamic. And I guess everything goes wrong.
And your actual grandmother stars in this film. Am I correct?
Correct, yes. We filmed in her house, and it stars her very first film, and she's now 87.
Wow. Did it take much convincing to get her to do the film itself?
Shockingly, no. I came up with the idea. I just came up with the idea, and I ran up the stairs, and I was like, Grandma, you have to do this. And she was like, okay, yeah, she'll do anything, especially to help me. She's the best grandma, so.
Well, there you go. She's 87 years old now?
Yes, correct.
Good for her. Fantastic. That would be funny if she started an acting career at this age, wouldn't it?
It's interesting you say that, because a few people have said, would she do something else? But I'm not sure she would. I think she just did it for me. But now it's this great thing we have. My family will have that. It's kind of like a cool way to honor her.
Now, you are an actress as well. So,
I am, yes.
Okay. Is this your first film, or is this the first film that has really you've gotten any traction on?
This is the first film I wrote.
Okay.
It's not the first film I've been in, but this is the first film I've done on my own endeavor.
Okay.
I was injured and I wasn't really auditioning, and I kind of thought, I'll write something, and the idea came to me, and I just went for it, and I dragged along all my friends and my grandma.
So what is the premise of Grandma's House, other than things going horribly wrong?
So it's really short. It's a very brief film. But basically, the two granddaughters are trying very, very hard to impress their grandma. She's this very judgmental, kind of glamorous grandma, and she's ill in bed. And so they're just trying to, get her approval and whatever. The one woman is recently engaged, and the sisters have this loving relationship, but it's kind of bizarre because the grandma kind of hates them and resents them in a way. And so I guess from there the grandma becomes the villain.
Ah, now you don't have to go out on I'm not going to go out on a limb here, and you do not have to say, but was this a role that was easily adaptable by your grandmother, or did she struggle with this?
So I guess the truly being scary at the end was hard for her when when we really needed her to turn the lights off. It was difficult for her, mostly because she can't see so well. So I think it was hard for her to follow direction when it was time to get scary, which was a little bit bad on my part. But in general, the character's it stems from a little bit of realism in that she's she is very glamorous, and she can be a little bit judgmental, but it's not in an evil way that it's portrayed in the film. It's more in a loving, kind of old school fashion.
Kind of a typical grandma way.
Yeah, but I just exaggerated everything, and I put a fun twist on it and made it kind of spooky.
It's not like that passive aggressive, you're not going to wear that, are you? That.
Oh, no. My grandma's the opposite. If anything she wants me to wear that.
Nice. So the film is it out or is it due to come out?
So it's in festival run. So we are going to be in our third festival coming up. And yeah, we have a bunch more we're waiting to hear back from. So it'll probably be in festivals for, I would say, depending on how we do, another 6 months, and then I'll release it. I'm going to put it out there however I can, even if I just put it on for, on the internet for people to see just for fun.
Now, you said it's kind of like a short film. Define short film. Is it in that category in a film festival or?
Yeah, it's not considered. Believe it or not, there's a few different types of shorts. There's short, like micro short film, and long short. This is considered like a true medium short film.
Okay, so that makes it what, like 10 minutes, right, or something to that effect?
So I forget what the exact time is. I think it's about like 8 minutes.
Okay, yeah, roughly, approximate. Okay, all right. So, and so far, the reviews are very good. And let's say you come out of there with just on such a high positive note. Any plans on a remake of length or shopping it to larger studios? What's the end game here?
So I kind of cut the bug, the writing bug, I guess. And after I wrote this project, it really gave me like a boost, and I was very empowering to kind of work on my own material and, take charge of my career. So I wrote something else. I wrote a pilot for a TV show, and we're actually in the midst of working on it now. We did one film date. We have maybe 4 or 5 left to film it. And we're about to begin our kind of like true financial campaign, but we're doing really well with it. I'm really excited. I have a cast, I have crew, a production team. So it's very interesting. It's kind of like a weird fantasy dark comedy.
Okay. All right. Well, I in the past, and much to my producer Claire's chagrin, I have done some acting myself. I've been in a few television shows as a body double and a CNN special where I actually got a little bit of screen time. And then again, I've been in a local commercial where I was cast into hell by St. Peter. So, all over home health care. But when you're casting for this TV pilot, if you need an old, fat, out-of-shape radio personality, keep me in mind, will you?
I mean, I can always write in a role for you.
There you go. I'm in. So how can we find the film? What's your websites and all that stuff?
So I have, my Instagram is at Grandma's House Film. And that's kind of how we're doing all our promotion for this particular project. And when it comes out, I'll definitely promote it on there as well.
Okay.
Fantastic. And my new program that I'm writing is called Hangry Harpies. So that's at Hangry Harpies.
Okay. Now, do you personally have an Instagram or social media so people can follow you as an actress?
Yes, I do. I'm at Becca, BECCAH, Kitty, like the cat, meow.
Okay. Excellent. So, any timetable on the next release?
So this one we should be finished wrapping filming by I'd say end of spring, latest, and I'm not sure when it'll come out. Hopefully shortly after that. This one we had a really, really extremely fast turnaround. It was shocking how everything happened. I wrote it in a month. It was filmed and released in a month, and its first festival like a week after that. It's crazy.
Fantastic. Well, good for you. All right, Rebecca. Well, I have to wrap it up. So thank you so much for taking the time to call and hang out with us here on Rock On Radio with the brand new film Grandma's House, available at a festival near you. When's the next one?
It's December 7th at TNX Cinemas in New Jersey.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Hopefully we'll see it in the Asbury Park Film Festival and the Montclair Film Festival.
Yes, I'm submitting to a lot in New Jersey. They have a great film community.
Great. Fantastic. Well, best of luck with it. And you'll have to let us know how that turns out.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
All right, Rebecca. Best of luck. Rock on.
All right, rock on.
There you go. Rebecca Lauren, her film Grandma's House, here on Rock On Radio. Well, that's it, Claire. We are done.
Yay.
Another Rock On Radio has come to a conclusion. here in the Shelley Fabre series. Next week, we may have a Deco Christmas show.
Oh, nice.
We may
Deco the halls.
Deco the halls. We may have Joe Sarasano with us. I'm not sure yet. So you know what that means. So that'll be next week. And then after that, we have guests. Okay. And then right all the way up to the 16th Annual Christmas Spectacular. Yep. So many thanks to Eliza-Neals, the Bluespeople, Rebecca Lauren, and until next week, rock on!